president is waning, with the first Senate Democrat publicly calling for Biden to drop out.
Brooke Singman is here now with all the details for us. Hey, Brooke.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that's right. And it is nice and warm in the studio today. Thank you, Ainsley. But Democratic Senator Peter Welch of Vermont becoming the first Democrat in the Senate to join that growing list of Democrat lawmakers calling on the president to step aside. Welch writing, quote, "He saved us from Donald Trump once, and he wants to do it again. He needs to reassess whether he is the best candidate to do so. In my view, he is not." Now, a total of 10 Democrats have now come out against President Biden, telling him to withdraw from the race. And Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer doesn't see the harm in Biden taking a cognitive test. Listen.
As some people have suggested, just go ahead and take a cognitive test and demand that Donald Trump do the same?
I don't think that'd hurt, to be honest. But at the end of the day, you know,
so you think that he should take a cognitive test?
I don't think it would hurt.
Top Hollywood stars who previously backed the president are now also suggesting Biden step aside, including George Clooney, who headlined that fundraiser with the president just a few weeks ago. Now, in a new op-ed, Clooney is writing, quote, "The Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big expletive deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate." Now, a Biden campaign source telling the New York Times that the president stayed for over 3 hours at that fundraiser while Clooney took a photo and quickly left. This is the same fundraiser where former President Barack Obama appeared to usher Biden off the stage after it looked like he froze. Back to you guys.
They wanted me to stop the heart of an idiot. I was just going to pretend to try so that they could see it wouldn't work. Then, as I sat there, I couldn't stop it. Some dark part of me wanted to see if I could do it.
Holy sh!
Finished my tour and I quit. I walked out. Never went back.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Wait a second. Did you do a face swap? Did you do a face swap of Barack Obama as one of the guys there? This is really, really good, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really, really good one. What's that movie called, by the way? What's that movie for? What's the movie called? I know what the movie's called. Men Who Stare at Goats. Okay. All right. That's a pretty good one. Jerry, you gotta clean up my desk here. What a mess. We got salt shakers. We got our coffee rolling here. We got another giant water bottle. Man, we got a crowded desk because we are rocking this morning. We are rolling this morning. Man, we got a crazy day ahead. Joe Biden allegedly is going to give a press conference today. Everyone calls it a big boy press conference. The big boy press conference. We're going to be live for that, ladies and gentlemen. We are rocking and rolling this morning. And Joe Biden is at civil war with his own Democrat Party. And does he even know it? Biden is now fighting Pelosi and Schumer, George Clooney, and George Clooney is just a cutout for Barack Obama. We're going to talk about how if you want a friend in politics, you better get a dog. I think that's a paraphrase from Harry Truman, a president that maybe Joe Biden should start learning a little something from. The Biden campaign now thinks that Barack Obama is behind the effort to oust him. Ooh, that's got to burn. Trump roasts George Clooney to his face. And Chairman James Comer joins the show today. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Okay, baby, we got some interesting times ahead. Obviously, what you're seeing is some real pressure right now to ease interest rates. That's definitely going to happen. That always happens in order to help Joe Biden. They're going to do their best to rig the numbers and to let off the gas. Does inflation seem to have been solved to you? Has inflation gotten better for you? Or your gas prices or grocery prices going down? Oh no! Well, the government says they're going down and they're patting themselves on the back. They're gonna let the foot off the gas. They're gonna pressure and strong arm Jerome Powell, and he's gonna do it. And then inflation rate's gonna skyrocket up to like 30%. Trust me, history rhymes. This is going to happen. Buy gold. That's the point. Buy gold. Like, don't mess right now. The dollar just collapsed actually this morning against other world currencies because everybody knows they're going to they're going to go right back into an inflationary cycle to try and save Joe Biden. Buy gold. Buy gold with my friends at Allegiance Gold. Go to protectwithbenny.com today. Call 844-66-BENNY right now. Get $5,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Do not get fooled by these idiots running everything right now. They think that they're just going to melt down the money printers all over again. Protectwithbenny.com today. Go gold today. Invest in something of real value. Okay. Real value here. Ooh, baby. So we had a show yesterday where we focused in quite a bit on negative Nancy. We're going to call her a negative Nancy. It's a term called a negative Nancy. Maybe you call your brother, sister, your mom or grandmother that. You maybe called one of your friends that, right? One of your bros. You're a negative. Stop being a negative Nancy. We have literal negative Nancy today. Now we showed you, and we're going to show you in a more organized fashion here, the incredible lengths that Nancy Pelosi has gone to defend Joe Biden, and now to like turn the knife into Joe Biden, and it's really an incredible evolution, as they call it in politics. I've evolved. It's happened like overnight, and Nancy Pelosi is not liking it. Nancy Pelosi actually snapped and went on sort of a mini racist tirade in the House yesterday. We should make a new segment called like the Pelosi Paper. That's not the right name for it. Pelosi Papers. This is going to be where we watch very closely what Nancy Pelosi does because she's such a power broker inside the Democrat Party. It's hard to really describe it. She can like make or break anyone. She's probably more powerful than Joe Biden, to be quite honest with you. She's definitely richer, and she definitely has like her claws and fangs into effectively every organ of the Democrat Party right now. And so as she clops down the hallway in Capitol Hill yesterday, this happened after our show. Such a great clip. I just want to show you like the current state of the Democrat Party. She's clomping down the hallway in Capitol Hill, and a reporter is asking her honest questions about what's going on, and she snaps. And she devolves into this like racist tirade where she goes, "Are you speaking English?" And she does it. Okay, watch this. You're gonna love this. The Nancy Pelosi. This is our Pelosi. Whatever. Producers, come up with a better name for this. Come on, we got writers on the show. Let's get a better name, not the Pelosi Peepers. That's not what we want. We have zero audience. Okay, if we do that, we're gonna come up with a good name for our Pelosi segment right now. And maybe Pelosi and Panic. All right, we'll call it for the time being until the writers can get on it. Pelosi and Panic. All right, let's go with that. We don't actually have a writers team here. We don't, and we will not be hiring any of the writers from the Acolyte. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll do Pelosi and Panic here for our show clip of the day. This is great. Pelosi melts down and throws a racist tirade at this reporter. Watch this. Do you speak English? Go.
Convey to President Biden what you said this morning.
I'm not having any conversations with you or anybody else about what I talked to the president about. We don't do this over.
Do you believe that?
I never do, so it's nothing new.
I understand, Madam Speaker. Do you believe that him waiting so long to make this decision could harm the party?
I'm not making any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can win.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not speaking English to you. I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
This is so good. We should have salted her. Did you see her? Get her as a play-beside right now. Did you see? I need it as a play-beside. I want all these as play-besides. I must speak English to you? Come on, can we get Jerry, I want Rush Hour. Give me the Rush Hour meme. All right, with Chris Tucker. Do you speak English? Let's get that with Pelosi. I want that with Pelosi, with Buckle In. It's too much fun. We're having too much fun. And it's not the first time that Nancy Pelosi's gone on a racist tirade, by the way, against, let's just call them a minority reporter, right? Or a member of a dispossessed group. She did this once in front of Paul Pelosi's Hammer Time house, otherwise known as Nancy Pelosi's mansion in San Francisco. So, you know, why do you watch the show? Well, because we have encyclopedic knowledge of Nancy Pelosi's racist meltdowns that, of course, would be the career enders for anybody on the right. And here's Nancy Pelosi telling what we assume to be an Asian reporter to go back to China. Oh, really? This isn't national news? Nancy Pelosi didn't get canceled for this? Hot damn, you'd assume our show would be ripped off the air if anybody ever had a clip of me doing this. Here's Nancy Pelosi telling either an Asian reporter or what we assume to be an Asian protester, potentially at her house, an activist, and she goes, go back to China. Listen.
Most of your constituents want stop the genocide, stop the Holocaust.
The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire.
We gotta get that. Okay, so we have a version with the. You can hear it very subtly there. We have a version with captions on it. Anyway, we're just freeform. You can hear Nancy Pelosi there. Clear as day, says, go back to China. Jeez. Remember when they went after Donald Trump for calling it the China virus? You hear that? There was an entire news cycle about Donald Trump, China virus. Listen to this from Pelosi. It's too good. This is too good. Here we go.
Do you believe that him waiting so long to make this decision could harm the party?
Any comments in the hallway about the fate of our nation. Okay?
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not. Am I speaking English to you?
Am I speaking English to you? That's amazing. She didn't tell her to go back to China. This is Nancy Pelosi. This is the leader of the Democrats. This is the most powerful person in all of Democrat politics. Why are we the only for 3 years? And guys, on these clips, let's make sure. So there's the SRT. Let's bump the audio. Definitely bump the audio on these clips. I know that they're hard to hear. I know, but we should go in and edit them and bump the audio. Yeah. Let's make sure we do that before the show. I know. I read the chat. I see the comments too, ladies and gentlemen. I understand sometimes, people play the show at different audio levels. We bump the audio on this. Before the end of the show, we'll crank up the audio on this and add some captions to Nancy Pelosi here. Jerry, why don't you do that? ALX, have Jerry do that and then add the rush hour meme. You speak English? This is the rush hour meme. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send this clip into the meme portal for you, into the meme machine, and we'll get you back a very loud clip of Nancy Pelosi saying this, and plus a really funny meme to boot. Okay, here we go. Speaking of getting the boot, man, Nancy Pelosi has had a very interesting transition with her take on Joe Biden. So Nancy Pelosi has said time and time again that she loves Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi was recently on TV talking about how young Joe Biden is, how spry Joe Biden is, and how he's like a spring chicken. Oh, yeah. Man. I mean, it's hard to keep up with him, actually. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is Nancy Pelosi making the case for Joe Biden.
I couldn't be prouder of him. And again, we're very fortunate that he is in that position. But again, age is relative. I was in L.A. For some Democratic stuff recently, and I met with Norman Lear, who's 100, going on 101. He was telling me some new shows he was involved in. I was meeting with Frank Gehry, a 90-something architect, showing me new buildings he's building throughout the world. And they were like, 80. He's a kid, but again, it's relative. He's younger than I am, so he's a kid to me as well. The president is.
He's younger than I am. Okay, great. So this was Nancy Pelosi a couple of weeks ago. Nancy Pelosi has gone on and again, throughout the course of the last 6 months, has gone on TV to defend her dear friend, Joe Biden. ALX, which one of these is the Nancy Pelosi CNN clip where she's talking about how incredible Joe Biden is? How just what a absolute and total Casanova Joe Biden is. Let's play it.
And, while he may be saying we're enablers, we see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency.
Let's sugarcoat it. It's like really great to me that this is the defender. This is the defender of Joe Biden. The number one defender is the lady who cannot keep her teeth inside of her mouth. She's gone on TV again and again, and she's done this. All right. She's said that Joe Biden, there's no chance that Joe Biden is going to drop out. She can't wait to vote for Joe Biden. This was Nancy Pelosi a month ago.
Do you think there's any chance he does not continue running?
I hope not. I hope not. I mean, this president...
David Ignatius recently came out saying he thinks the former president should not run.
Yeah, so that's one.
Going back to the primaries, Nancy Pelosi went on TV to vociferously defend Joe Biden and his mental acuity by not being able to know the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. This is a hilarious moment. So it's, again, it's like... Is there like a scene? It's like a scene in a movie. It's like a Seinfeld episode when George faking that he's handicapped, and he has a little rascal, and he gets in a fight with these other old people with rascals, and they all do this slow motion chase in their wheelchairs. That's like this is so just like Nancy Pelosi, who's like a hospice client with a visiting angels patient, and they're like trying to defend each other. Listen to this. This is from the primary.
Well, let me just say I'm not going to spend too much time on Donald Trump's cognitive disorders. But what I am going to say, and I want to, in friendship, say to Chris, he tried to say that Nikki Haley did not allow the National Guard to come, but it was Nancy Pelosi. It was nobody. It was Donald Trump. Well.
Are we sure Michael Jackson died? Are we sure Michael Jackson didn't just transition into becoming the Speaker of the House? Nancy Pelosi changed her tune from the ardent defender of Joe Biden into, well, maybe he has a condition.
So we have all these things that he was masterful in helping to orchestrate, to write, and to pass. So he has a vision, he has knowledge, he has judgment, he has a strategic thinking, and the rest. He has a bad night. Now, again, I think it's a legitimate question to say, is this an episode or is this a condition?
Oh, okay. So we've gone from Joe Biden so young to Joe Biden's way smarter than Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the one who has a degenerative mental health issue, is what the song Nancy Pelosi was singing just a little bit ago, to maybe Joe Biden has a condition, to here. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Nancy Pelosi yesterday saying, effectively, we are going to get Joe Biden through the NATO summit, and then we are going to toss him directly into the trash compactor. This is an incredible clip, and it matches actually new reporting out of Pelosi's office, but I just want to build you up the Democrat civil war going on right now.
So, Madam Speaker, you just went through the president's record, but let me ask you about the current moment. Does he have your support to be the head of the Democratic ticket?
As long as the president it's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short. I think overwhelming support of the caucus. It's not for me to say. I'm not the head of the caucus anymore, but he's beloved. He is respected, and people want him to make that decision, not me.
He has said he has made the decision. He has said firmly this week he is going to run. Do you want him to run?
I want him to do whatever he decides to do. And that's the way it is. Whatever he decides, we go with. I think it's really important, and I would hope everyone would join in, to let him deal with this NATO conference. This is a very big deal. Over 30 heads of state are here. He is the host of it, and that means not just hosting, it means orchestrating the discussion and setting the agenda, and he's doing so magnificently. And I've said to everyone, let's just hold off. Whatever you're thinking, either tell somebody privately, but you don't have to put that out on the table until we see how we go this week.
Oh, man. Oh, it's so good. Oh, they're such villains, these people. They're despicable. Nancy Pelosi knows what's going on with Biden. They all know what's going on with Biden. We're going to get a George Clooney here. It's really funny. Trump's been trolling Clooney with memes. They all know what's going on with Biden. Look at this. This is Nancy Pelosi walking with Joe Biden out to a helicopter. This was like 2 months ago. Look at this. Visiting angels. The #1 home care. How's the jingle go? I don't know. Apparently the jingle's copyrighted or something. We can't play it. Can we? I don't know. Look at him. Let's do it again. Do it again. Nancy Pelosi. You see Nancy Pelosi. If you call her one thing, I mean, she's crazy, but she's definitely quick, right? When she's running down the hallway, she's going at a quick clip, right? She's going fast down the hallway. Look at the way she actually fixes her walk to do like the Parkinson's walk, to accommodate Joe Biden. Back to the beginning. Go. Look at this. She actually slows her walk down to do a full Visiting Angels hospice care ad with Joe Biden. Man. Oh, man. They know. They all knew. These people are such scum, these people. They really are. Look at this reporting out from Politico this morning. Very interesting. So the long knives are out for Joe Biden. They're just sharpening them right now. Speaker Pelosi has been advising frontline members of her caucus to voice their district and do what they need for re-election, even if that means calling for Biden to step aside. Her one request is to wait until the NATO conference concludes out of respect for Joe Biden. For other safe seat members, she's been encouraging them to take their desires for him to step aside straight to the White House to minimize party infighting. For her part, Pelosi has told some people that Biden won't win and should step aside. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Look at the headline there. What Obama and Pelosi are about to do to Biden. It's so fun to be right. If you had been watching this show a month ago, you would have seen our reporting way before the debate, way before everything. We got our fingers in some pies around here. And I'm telling you, like, we called this thing like from 1,000 yards out, man. We have the clips to prove it. We said Pelosi and Obama are going to gut Biden. If he messes up in this debate, he's done. And they're going to put up Kamala Harris, and they're going to claim their little historic diversity moment, and they're going to pray and hope on a dream that she can, I don't know, she's going to make some executive order, right? To make houses free for everyone, something. And then she's going to hope like that she can like win it against Trump, right? Go into some debate with some girl boss energy with Trump, okay? And that's what they're going to hope for. And we said that was going to happen. And lo and behold, man, these people, they're so predictable. They're such animals, They really are. They're you throw the chum in the water, right? The chum is power, and they'll just do anything. They're like the shark. You just try stopping the shark. Try stopping the great white when you see its eyeballs roll back into its skull and its eyes are black and it smells nothing but blood and it's just chomping away. This is what these people are. They just anything for power. No loyalty, no appreciation, nothing. They don't give an S about try my hardest not to swear on the show. They don't care about democracy. You know, democracy says that Joe Biden has 2,000 delegates and everyone else has 0 delegates at the DNC convention. That's democracy. The Democrat Party is Joe Biden. Joe Biden saying, I'm president, I'm going to stay president. That's democracy. Whew, baby. But not today. Not today. We don't care about your democracy as long as our power is in jeopardy. We don't care about friendship. The guy that was my vice president, I'm going to go through a little interesting thing that happened over the last 24 hours. It happened right as we were ending the show yesterday. Right as we were ending the show yesterday, the most hysterical thing occurred, and it shows you what villains you're dealing with here. Rats. You know, a rat and these rats, you know. A rat, when hungry enough, will eat another rat. Absolutely, a rat hungry enough will eat anything. So I call him a rat. You know, Joe Biden and Barack Obama served together, right? Served together for 8 years. Joe Biden, to his great humiliation and embarrassment, has posted photos of a Joe and Barack friendship bracelet. My God, what a sign of things to come. This was when Joe was groveling to become president. This was in 2019. And Joe was groveling for Barack Obama's approval. But Barack Obama's never approved of Joe Biden. Barack Obama hates Joe Biden. Hey, Alexa, can you grab me that Tucker Carlson clip? Let's load that up. They hate Joe Biden. You can see it in their one time at the White House during a public meeting. Now, Barack Obama's snuck into the White House for secret meetings before, but like there was one public meeting and you can really see it on display. It's really tough to watch. Barack Obama, according to sources inside of the White House, says don't ever underestimate Joe's ability to F things up, and saying that Joe Biden is absolutely ill-prepared to deal with the Democrat Party of today, the Democrat Party that Joe Biden built, which is a vicious intersectional politics machine completely knitted together via the mental illness of the dispossessed and the intersectional hierarchy of mentally ill, dispossessed people that they've been able to psyop. This is the modern-day Democrat Party, an entire party of mentally ill people. And Barack Obama wields it and runs it, and Joe Biden is shattering the glass in a bad way there, because now all of those people, the mentally ill orcs that make up the Democrat Party, are going to now get Trump again. And it's going to break them, and it's going to be really, really exciting. Barack Obama hates Joe Biden for this, because Joe Biden's failures have once again thwarted Barack Obama's chance at universal and forever power. And this is, of course, the goal of all Marxists and communists, all tyrants. They want power, and they want power forever, and they don't ever want to have to ask anybody to get it. Now, what's interesting here is if you wish to actually visit power on somebody, if you wish to actually see power in action, then what you need to do is you need to actually watch the way that people interact. You'll see that if you are somebody who actually wields power, people are going to treat you differently. And that was fully on display at the White House when Joe Biden invited Barack Obama one single time to the White House. Check this out.
Joe Biden is now the most unpopular person in virtually any room he enters. If you doubt it, watch this. This was the scene at the White House today. Take a careful look at this. You've never seen anything like it. That's the President of the United States in his own house, shunned. Nobody would talk to him. So Biden wandered off looking vacant as a crowd formed around a former president, Barack Obama, who was obviously deeply grateful for the attention. And then it got worse. It got much more poignant than that. Watch Biden try to horn in on the conversation swirling around Obama. Everyone involved in that conversation, including Kamala Harris, who supposedly works for Biden, ignored Biden completely. Biden desperately tried to get Obama's attention. He puts his hand on Obama's shoulder. He even calls him Barack, like they're friends. But Obama blows him off. He acts like Biden's not even there.
Ooh, man. It's tough to watch, actually. It's really, don't feel bad for Joe Biden. Joe Biden deserves every lick of this and more. Joe Biden deserves a permanent cell on whatever Epstein Island, whatever, permanent banishment to whatever jail cell they can possibly build on Epstein Island for the rest of his miserable days, him and his entire corrupt family. So don't feel bad for him, but you kind of do. I mean, listen, Barack Obama, based on all available reporting and his own biographer, Barack Obama is like a deep, selfish person, such a black hole narcissist, a nihilist that wants to ungird the constitutional republic and the cornerstones that actually hold up this nation. He wants to fundamentally remake America, and he's said that. He views himself as a new, much better version of a founding father, and nobody's going to get in his way, especially a guy who first got into the Senate when the founding fathers were still creating this country, Joe Biden. Behind closed doors, Barack Obama voices concerns about Biden. Uh-oh. Now, Barack Obama has engaged in his shadow war to destroy Joe Biden. It's getting really vicious and horribly ugly. This is from yesterday. George Clooney saying, we need a new nominee. Why would George Clooney say this? What a strange thing. And of course, he's writing in the only paper that smooth-brain libs trust and read, which is the New York Times. New York Times that has been openly calling for Joe Biden also to drop out. Why would he write this? And more importantly, why would he say something that is quite damning, which is that we've all been lying to you? George Clooney saying here that the Joe Biden that you saw on the debate stage is Joe Biden now. It's not some like one night thing. It's not some bad night. It's not cold. It's not jet lag. It's Joe Biden being mentally handicapped. George Clooney says this because he was recently at a fundraiser with Joe Biden that he hosted. Here's the photo. Great acting there, George. Jackwagon. You can also see here it was very interesting in Julia Roberts. You can see like the way that she holds his hand. Do you see this? Women are naturally nurturing, much kinder than men by their nature. Like women are softer and like sense vulnerability. Do you feel me on this? Like they sense like the needs of the vulnerable more than men do. Men are much more binary and aggressive creatures with less emotional sensitivity, and utilitarian. Right? That's how men are built. Look at how she holds his hand. The way you would. This is exactly the kind of way that you would hold the hand inside of a Visiting Angels ad. I've actually seen Visiting Angels ads in various memes and things where like the caregiver is holding the hand like this. This is not how you would hold a normal person's hand. Look at how Julia Roberts naturally holds the hand of Joe Biden. She does something very different for Barack Obama. She gives him the old side hug. They know. They all knew, these scum. And if it wasn't for the debate, they'd still be rolling with this. If it wasn't for the debate, they'd still be going with this. So George Clooney says, we've all been lying to you. All of us have been lying to you. And what does this mean? George Clooney isn't doing this by accident. In fact, reporting has come out now that George Clooney and his bestie, Barack Obama, nobody's closer in Hollywood to Barack Obama than George Clooney. Talk about a creature that loves power. Talk about a creature that like, you know, that like slithers to power. Like there's nothing like a Hollywood actor, right? Look what these people were willing to do for Harvey Weinstein. Okay. Just to get a crack at a little bit of power and fame. These people are they're lizards. They're lizard people. Barack Obama, so the reporting now is that Barack Obama approved and blessed George Clooney's op-ed to call for Biden to step out. Barack Obama is now working behind the scenes in order to get his dear friend, Joe Biden, to drop out and to bankrupt him, which would be the way to actually do it. Few celebrities are closer with Obama than George Clooney. You can bet he ran this statement about Biden by Barack before they went public. Oh, yeah. It's happening. Now, the Trump team, on the other hand, is taking glorious advantage of this and memeing the hell out of this moment. Do we have this meme? Yep. Oh, yeah. This one's good. This is something. So this is Dan Scavino, one of our dear friends on this program. But this is what Donald Trump posted. Donald Trump posted this at 1 a.m., standing, looking out over the glorious moonlit ocean on the balcony of Mar-a-Lago. His son, Barron, standing behind him saying, "Post it, father, post it. We will avenge you." And Donald Trump going, why shouldn't I? Let's do it. We do a little bit of trolling. Here, watch. Boom.
So although I wish I were here with better news, the fact is that you and I are sitting here today because this will be your last week of employment This is not an assessment of your productivity. You gotta try not to take this personally.
Well, I just had a bad night.
It's a perfect post. It's a perfect post because it gets at the point actually of the story. Like many memes, many memes are deeper. They're deeper than the actual meme itself. It gets at the point of the story. The point of the story is that Joe Biden's lying again. He's saying that it was just a bad night. He just had a cold. Don't worry. I thought I had COVID. I had some horrible virus. I felt terrible. Then I licked my palms and I rubbed them in the face of all these black people at Waffle House afterwards. I was feeling that bad. The whole thing's such trash, right? We've covered this again and again and again. Joe Biden went to multiple public events that night. He was feeling so terrible, right? Physically wiping his diseased syphilitic hands all over the faces and waffles of people inside of a Waffle House in Atlanta. We have the videos, right? It's so humiliating. It's almost as humiliating as bat nipples. Don't know if you're a Batman fan, but just be aware that there's one bad, there's the worst Batman, which is George Clooney. George Clooney was absolutely the worst Batman. And he had bat nipples on his bat suit. And I don't think I'll ever forgive him for that. I don't think you should either. So moving on. Donald Trump. This was a meme. Donald Trump did not actually post this. George Clooney looking disgusting, nipples protruding, his blue shirt in Congress. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. This is some disrespect from Donald Trump. This is an actual Truth Social post. Donald Trump going in hard on George Clooney, saying George Clooney, who never came close to making a great movie, is getting into the act. He turned on Crooked Joe like the rats they both are. Rat eat rat. Look at this. What does Clooney know about anything? Yeah. He goes on to say that Joe Biden did not save democracy, and Joe Biden has failed and destroyed democracy. Joe Biden has brought democracy to its knees. George Clooney should get out of politics and go back to television. His movies never really worked for him. This is what Donald Trump's doing. This is what Donald Trump's writing at 10 p.m. last night. Good for Trump. It's really interesting. The Biden campaign, by the way, is fighting back at Clooney and saying that Joe Biden has more stamina than George Clooney. This is a remarkable clip. We got this? Yeah, man, this is so funny. Watch Jake Tapper's reaction to this. It's just glorious. Just absolutely glorious. Do we have the full thing? Yeah? Okay. Is this our Salt That Lib? Oh, okay. It's always Nicole Walls. All right, fine. You're free to salt though, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy.
And in response to those comments from George Clooney, Jake, a campaign official who attended that Los Angeles fundraiser tells me that George Clooney left 3 hours before the president. So clearly the gloves are off. Jake?
But what does that mean that George Clooney left 3 hours? What's the point?
The point of that is to suggest that Biden's stamina is better than Clooney's, and Clooney didn't have, eyes on the entire event. That's the response to the Clooney op-ed.
Okay. Kayla Tashi, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Karen Finney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love to talk about that.
I will. I know this is your favorite topic. Look, it just seems like every day is going to be like this with people saying he should drop out. People that are Democratic Party stalwarts. George Clooney gets nothing out of this. What does he gain? The only reason to do this is because he feels like he needs to convey this.
Yeah.
How does this end?
So let's just stipulate to the facts that this is not good. This is bad. Let's just say the obvious, right?
Okay, thank you.
I love the smell of panic in the morning. Joe Biden's White House has said that George Clooney doesn't have the stamina. The dude just hosted a $30 million fundraiser for Joe Biden. And George Clooney, the talking point out of the White House, there's another fighting with Pelosi. They're fighting with Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer's now fighting with Barack Obama. It's glorious. It's biblical. Front of the New York Post. Doesn't have a Clooney. Oh, man, it's so good. Okay, so what are the downstream effects of all of this? Really hilarious reporting here from Axios. Apparently, the Democrat Party infighting, which is like so good here. You know, it's the gallows meme. First time, like Republicans have so much infighting. We're like standing there. First time, huh? Yeah, all right. Okay, we've been here before. Democrats don't know how to handle it because they're such herd animals. Now, there's strength in that. You have to be lobotomized, right? You have to have the IQ of a wildebeest. But you get a bunch of wildebeest running in the same direction as a unit. There's power there, right? And that's how Democrats normally are. Now, it's the nature of the Marxist, the nature, I would much rather be a free man and have the freedom to talk on this program about how much, like, imagine me having a Democrat show and going on and on about how much you hate the head of the DNC or the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Like, would you have an audience? No, you wouldn't. But our show has a massive growing audience that like breaks that we're like top of the streamers almost every single day. And we talk regularly. Like we went on a holy jihad against Ronna McDaniel and Mitch McConnell. And this is the difference in how we think and how they think, right? You in the chat right now, love you. Because, like, you stuck with us when we're like, Ronna's bad, and we should, like, work to make sure that she resigns. And our work actually fixed the problem, right? I went as far as to, like, coach Vivek to nuke her on stage, which we did, which is super fun. That's what we did as an audience. We did that because you told me how much you hated Ronna. And then back and forth, like, we've gone hard in on Mitch McConnell. And Mitch McConnell resigned this year and is giving up power in 3 months. That's awesome. What a W for all of us. Do you think Democrats have the ability to do that? They can't do that. They're herd animals. They're wildebeests in the Serengeti. I guess it makes it easier for corrupt Democrat leaders because you just have these lobotomized seals, right, as your audience, and they all get in line. But in moments like this, it makes it like catastrophic. Because now the herd has been separated. You and I are the giant lions that have broken up the herd, and now all the wildebeest are all running and scattered, and they've lost their unanimity. They've lost the power of the herd. It's led to Democrats. You're gonna love this. Listen to this. This is directly from Axios. Has great sources all around DC and with libs. Apparently, Democrat members of Congress laid down on the floor, began crying. At the Biden campaign headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware, 24 Biden staffers and influencers gathered to watch the debate. One person laid down on this floor, despondent. When the debate's video feed was temporarily interrupted, one campaign staffer blurted out, "Oh, thank God." Oh, we have too much fun on this program. We got to button it up, boys. Okay, we got to button it up. James Comer, Chairman Comer will be on the show here in just a few minutes. So we're gonna have to put on our professional face. Okay, so we have 10 more minutes of fun before James Comer. Oh man, that is so good. Can you scroll down on that tweet? Can you scroll down though on the actual tweet? Here we go. There you go. It's so good. It's really funny. All right. It's really, really hysterical. What else is happening? The money is absolutely shut off. Look at this from NBC News. The money is gone. It's already disastrous. The Biden campaign fundraising takes a major hit. Close sources to the re-election effort say the fundraising is set to drop possibly by half. Campaign spokesperson pushed back, saying grassroots dollars were strong. Yeah, I'm sure. all of your grassroots supporters that needed their dumbass student loans paid off, I'm sure they're pumping money into your campaign when they can't pay off a $1,000 student loan or $200,000 student loan or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure. Sure, got it. Unbelievable. This Clooney thing has really shook him, man. So the Clooney thing is very interesting because what it signals is that the big boys are now gunning. All right, Even Morning Joe knows this, and Morning Joe is Joe Biden's favorite show. And they're very close with all these people, right? Again, they're little, they're little reptiles to power, reptiles to the heat source. And Morning Joe is straight up saying Barack Obama is sabotaging Joe Biden and is effectively in all-out hot war with Joe now. It's beautiful. Watch.
Is the Biden campaign and many Democratic officials do believe that Barack Obama is quietly working behind the scenes to orchestrate this. And if Joe Biden believes that, that's not going to get him out of the race any faster. Anytime David Axelrod attacks him, David Axelrod ensures that Joe Biden will dig himself in another day.
I mean, that's basically what Obama's
anytime the pod bros say something nasty about Joe Biden, which they have repeatedly said nasty things about Joe Biden before the debate, after the debate. Every time they do that, he digs in a little bit further. The pathway to Joe Biden graciously stepping aside does not go through the Obamas or the Clintons. It just doesn't. Again, as I said, because some people don't understand, I'm not talking about what ought to be. I'm talking about what is.
Joe Scarborough spent like 10 minutes talking about how Barack Obama is the one who is knifing Joe Biden right now. Oh, man. And saying that they know it. They say, you can say, there's one segment where it goes, you can say the name Voldemort. It's Obama behind all of this. So what is he saying? He's saying that to Joe Biden because this is Joe Biden's favorite show. He's saying your old buddy, Mr. Friendship Bracelet, your old pal. This is you, buddy, getting pushed in the, this is you, last scene of The Godfather, right? Fredo in the boat. Take Joe Biden fishing, right? Yeah. Yep. Wheelchair over the Grand Canyon. Get ready. It's going to happen. They're all saying it too. This is Barack Obama's. So let's go through the Obama, media ecosystem here. Here's Barack Obama's former advisor, probably current advisor, the architect who even made Joe Biden a thing. Joe Biden's career was dead. Robin Williams was telling jokes about how dumb Joe Biden was 15 years ago. It's incredible, an incredible clip. I'm not sure if we can play it, ALX. Are we allowed to play that clip? Let's find out if we can. There's some things you can't play because it'll get your show ripped down, right? Someone will come in and say, that there's a copyright on it, and then the whole show comes. When I'm asking something like that's why I'm asking. What's that? Yeah, okay, that's too bad. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm talking about here is an entire infrastructure that Barack Obama has built that he completely controlled. I'm not talking about NBC. I'm talking about like his own internal infrastructure. A guy named David Axelrod, who was the architect of Barack Obama's victories and who signed off on revitalizing Joe Biden's dead career to come on as vice president. This guy's saying he's finished, and he's hyping the Clooney thing so you can see that it's an organized hit job, right? Here we go.
Look, I think there's merit to it. Sometimes this is all a matter of risk assessment. There's risk associated with everything. The question is whether the risk of the status quo eclipses the risk of trying something else. And I think we've reached the point where many have come to that conclusion. But the thing about the piece, Dana, that I thought was particularly impactful was Clooney, who just hosted a major fundraiser for the president a few weeks ago in California, said you can't win the battle against time. None of us can. It's devastating to say, but Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago, the fundraiser was not the Joe Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. That is devastating. That's devastating.
Yeah, and
and it's what people fear.
So this is Joe Biden's chief architect being like, wow, this Clooney thing's really big. It's very devastating for Joe, Too bad. Man, better put Joe in a washing machine and put him on a SpaceX rocket and shoot him to the moon. It's like so obviously coordinated. There are these complete soy-filled dorks called the Podcast Bros. And it's like they started this podcast, and they were these like completely low IQ Obama bros is what they're called. Anyway, one of them was on TV, and of course Obama operates these people like marionettes. And listen to what they have to say.
Because, John, you were at that fundraiser as well. I don't know if you spent as much time with President Biden as George Clooney did, since he was one of the hosts. But that, I'm totally with you, David. That quote was like, wow.
I mean, it was not surprising to any of us who were at the fundraiser. I was there. Clooney was exactly right. And every single person I talked to at the fundraiser thought the same thing, except for the people working for Joe Biden, or at least they didn't say that. But I remember my wife, Emily, turned to me after the fundraiser and said, what are we going to do? I mean, and I said, well, there's a debate in a week. Either he'll do well in the debate and we'll think, well, he was just tired because he flew all the way back from Europe and that'll be that. Or he'll be like this at the debate and then the whole country will be talking about it. And so here we are.
Wow.
I got something for you, pal. Here you go. You like one? You want a tissue? And cry about it? These people are such scum. They all knew. They were trying to pull one over on us. It's the biggest scandal. It's far bigger than Watergate. They all knew. They're all now coming clean. Now that Joe Biden had an adult diaper moment for 90 straight minutes in what some call a CNN debate and what we call a hospice ad. That's it. Now, because the gig is up, because we have the murder weapon, because we now have the bloody glove with the DNA on it, you're going to come forward and be like, oh, wow, we saw this from so long ago. Chuck Todd is one of these, like, one of these people that shouldn't have any respect, but does. And you Meet the Press. He anchored this Meet the Press show for the last decade or so. And he's this reporter for NBC News in Washington. And he's doing this like unbelievable chameleon act right now, where he's saying that in 2022, everybody was coming to him and saying that Joe Biden doesn't have the mental competency and is mentally handicapped. That senior advisor for Obama was doing this. Where were you with the report in 2022, Chuck? We would have covered it, Chuck. No, they were silent as the grave. They thought they could lie themselves into more power. They don't care about Biden. They don't care. They just care that now Joe Biden is a liability to their power. Chuck Todd now saying that he's effectively going to he's now rethinking the entire Biden legacy. This is rich, dude.
I had a cabinet secretary 2 years ago.
Right.
Okay. 2 years ago. All out of the blue ask me, do you really think he can't run again like this? And I said, well, you have more interaction with him than I do. And they said, I don't have a lot of interaction with him. This is a pretty senior cabinet secretary. So, and this was 2 years ago. This is one of those, it's the classic open secrets, a non-versation, right? It's the story everybody knows and everybody was afraid to talk about.
Dude. Okay. So we have the salt. We have your salt for you this morning. It's so salty. It's so delicious. We have dual salt clips. One is John Fetterman talking about Joe Biden's debate. It's so good. And one is Nicole Wallace now talking about how Donald Trump is inevitable. And we're just going to mash them together into this very exciting Salt That Lib for this morning. We got to get all of our salt out, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the great Chairman Comer joining us in just a moment to talk about his new subpoenas of the Biden White House, because he's going to get to the bottom of what these people knew, right? It's a cover-up. But don't tell that to John Fetterman. Here we go. Let's Salt That Lib. Two clips for our Salt That Lib, starting with the salty senator from Pennsylvania, moving on to MSNBC. Let's go.
You saw the debate, just like we all saw the debate. And that didn't change your mind
I saw
about
parts
anything?
of it. I was actually flying back from Israel at that point, and then when I landed, and I started to get some of the text, and then at that point I realized that I really wanted to get on social media and defend our president after that, and that's what I decided to do. But of course, I mean, I know you and your viewers know that I had a really rough debate as well too.
Yes.
But I really want to remind anybody that I'm not the sum total of a bad debate.
You didn't see Joe Biden's entire debate against Donald Trump?
I didn't. I saw perhaps the most difficult ones, of course.
Let me also, I know how difficult this story is for my audience, but I'm not going to shield anyone from the news. This is new polling from Wisconsin from AARP. 2024 election for voters over the age of 50. Joe Biden's at 43%. Donald Trump is at 52%. The Senate race, Tammy Baldwin was running about 4 points ahead, but she's losing.
Oh, okay. We are sad. Keep that salt flowing, baby. I love seeing the chat with the salt just melting down. We have this amazing salt shaker that was made for us, that was 3D printed by an incredible member of the Benny Brigade and sent to us. So we love our salt shaker. We'll have Jamie Comer on very soon to talk to us about his subpoenas of the Biden White House. Check this out. This is very interesting. The Biden White House has been subpoenaed by the House GOP Republicans to testify about the mental fitness and accusations that they are hiding Joe Biden's handicapped cognitive state. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be spicy, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a spicy meme for you. We promised you the Nancy Pelosi meme. We got it. We can make memes live on the show. Find another show. Find another show where they can make the meme live, right? Where you can actually just join the meme making process. Also, by the way, like we regularly, Jerry knows this, Ashley knows this, we regularly get requests for memes from the brigade and from this brigade, from the Benny Brigade, and we make those, we do our best to deliver on the memes of your dreams, okay? To make your meme dreams reality. So here we go. Here's Nancy Pelosi. Am I speaking English? I'm quoting this. Oh, Benny, that's racist. I'm quoting Pelosi. Here's the video. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Concern whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not speaking English to you. I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
Do you speak any English? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Why can we do that? How can we do this so quickly? How do we get it so quickly? Is because the entire company runs on Patriot Mobile, ladies and gentlemen. Patriot Mobile keeps us connected. They're also a Christian conservative wireless provider that can lock you in to lightning fast service wherever you live in all 50 states. That's how we're able to get these memes done so quickly. They're available on all 3 major networks. You can join, and you don't have to fund the libs. Switch to Patriot Mobile today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Benny, 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation today with the offer code Benny. Patriot Mobile will also be our exclusive sponsor of the RNC convention and our coverage there. We have so many exciting things to announce for you. We are lining up some awesome, we'll have in-person events. We're going to be like live. We're going to be live in front of the RNC convention. And it's going to be like with a live audience. It's going to be so great. We're so excited about this program. We're so excited about you. We're like so thrilled about the energy that you give us. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Stay connected. Patriot Mobile is going to power us through awesome convention coverage. We've locked up effectively the entire Trump family for live interviews. It's going to be amazing. Live audience right in front of the convention hall. Baby, join us along with Patriot Mobile next week. Remember, patriotmobile.com/Benny. Okay, here we go, baby. We are ready to rock. Congressman from yesterday, and I just want to one little piece of news I want to ask Chairman Comer about, which blew my mind because it's very hopeful, and we've been covering this all week. The SAVE Act Do you know that the SAVE Act was a bipartisan act? 5 Democrats joined Republicans to stop illegal aliens from voting in 2024 election by passing the Trump-backed voter ID bill. Most important vote of our career. Wow. There's some inspiration for you. Talk about the breaking of the herd animals. Holy cannoli. Guacamole. So good. And as Jill Biden would say, si se puede. Exciting stuff, ladies and gentlemen, all around. Congress is rocking and rolling. I will tell you this, and I'm about to tell this to Chairman Comer. This is like the best piece of legislation maybe I've seen the House Republicans pass in my lifetime. Good for them. It's passed. It goes to the Senate. All the more reason to win a Republican Senate and then send that bill straight to Donald Trump, right? Will Joe Biden sign it? I don't know. Maybe Joe Biden will sign it. We're not sure. We've had Mike Lee on to talk about it. We had Chip Roy on to talk about it. And now we have Joe Biden's worst nightmare. Oh, yeah. Joe Biden's worst nightmare is not the big stairs on Air Force One. It's not only getting a single scoop of his least favorite flavor of ice cream. Joe Biden's least favorite flavor in all of politics is a man named Chairman Comer, who joins the program live now. Mr. Chairman, you are messing up Joe Biden's day once again by subpoenaing the little cadre of unknown low-level staffers who allegedly hold the ropes around Biden wherever he moves in the White House, and that sort of shook D.C. And once again, you were searching for the truth. Can you give us an update on those subpoenas?
Yeah, and it's great because for once the mainstream media is reporting our investigations of Joe Biden. And look, everyone in Washington, with the exception of the Biden family and or the Biden associates, wants to see Joe Biden step down, at least off the ticket, if not even resign from office. But what we've all been asking for a year now is who's actually calling the shots? Who is the puppet master behind the curtain that are pulling the strings? And what we've been able to determine is that these 3 staffers who I issued subpoenas to have been the ones that have been the gatekeepers, in addition to Hunter Biden. These 3 staffers have been the ones that have been writing the cue card saying, okay, stand up, sit down, walk towards the exit sign when you finish your sentence here. And they have been blocking cabinet secretaries from meeting with Joe Biden. They've been blocking the media. They've just been handing the media what to copy and paste to write about how healthy Joe Biden is. And now the truth is known that Joe Biden isn't capable of being president. Everyone saw it up close and personal in the debate. These 3 staffers can answer a question that I have, and I think a lot of your viewers have. Was there a shadow government operating? Because I don't think anyone thinks Joe Biden is able to comprehend a national security report or is able to communicate on a daily basis with all of his cabinet secretaries and to digest all the daily briefings that a president has to endure. So who's been doing this? From what we can tell, these 3 staffers who no one really knows, they certainly weren't confirmed by the Senate. They've never been on TV for interviews, but we believe they can answer a lot of questions that a lot of Americans have. And the big question is, has this been a cover-up, and has there been a shadow government in operation for quite some time?
Never in my wildest dreams, Mr. Chairman, did I think that Chuck Todd would be maybe your biggest fan. But lo and behold, yesterday on a podcast with NBC, Chuck Todd said, should Joe Biden have even run for president in 2018? You know, and he went through some of your reporting. He went through some of your committee work. And he said, Joe Biden's family was a mess in those years. And his life was a disaster. And he used your committee work, sir, to make that point.
I appreciate Chuck Todd saying that. But my question for Chuck Todd, where's he been? You know, I've been on his show a couple of times, and he roughed me up the last time I was on the show for, you know, having the audacity to insinuate that Joe Biden's family was a hot mess. And I mean, not only are they a hot mess, they're corrupt as hell. And we've proven that with bank statements. You know, bank records don't lie. That's why we've subpoenaed all those bank records. That's why we disclose to the public in a transparent manner everything that we found. And as you know, Benny, you've done a great job reporting this. We found that the Bidens had a bunch of fake companies. They took in tens of millions of dollars from our enemies around the world. According to the IRS whistleblowers, they didn't pay a penny of taxes on it. And even after the depositions from the Biden family members that we conducted, we still have no idea what they did for the money.
I got a question for you because you've been such a ardent defender of Donald Trump. I know that you and the president speak regularly. How would you advise him to proceed when Donald Trump gets his acting attorney general, given the information that you have on the Bidens? I'm aware that there's statute of limitation situations here, but it does seem as though you're a parent, I'm a parent. If there's no consequences to what the Bidens have done, then it just opens the door for everybody to do this. It seems like there has to be some consequences and a real thorough investigation. What would you advise the president to do?
Well, I think he's going to have the investigation. It's going to be the House Oversight Committee investigation. We've already issued criminal referrals for Hunter Biden and Jim Biden. I expect more criminal referrals to come closer to the end of the year. And, you know, what they need to do is not be vindictive, but take our investigation and bring these people in and let them have due process and explain, you know, what they did to receive this money, why they lied about it. But not only are the Biden family members complicit, but also there are a lot of deep state actors that are complicit that need to be held accountable. And I would love to work with the new Attorney General to identify specific people in the Department of Justice, specific people in the FBI, in the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the IRS who were responsible for the cover-up of all the Biden family crimes. You know, these 3 subpoenas we issued yesterday to those White House employees, they've been part of a cover-up covering up Joe Biden's poor health. What we've identified earlier with the Biden influence peddling schemes is there are a lot of government employees that have been involved in a cover-up. Hunter Biden should have been in jail a decade ago, and he should still be in jail today, but he's been allowed to get away with it. And somebody needs to pay a price for that. Merrick Garland's not going to take any action to hold anyone in the Biden family accountable. We can't, you know, I know a lot of people tweet out, why doesn't Comer arrest Joe Biden? Well, that's not how it works. But we've got this report, we've got criminal referrals, and the next attorney general will be able to take it and run with it.
Congressman, I think you're the only chairman of any committee that had your hearing stormed by Hunter Biden. And he came in with a news crew and everything, and behaved in a very curious way, a very petulant way. You've very much been a thorn in Hunter Biden's paw, and now apparently Hunter Biden is the new chief of staff at the White House. Want to get your thoughts on that? This has been reported in multiple outlets.
Yeah, I would love to share my thoughts on that because I've been attacked by the New York Times, by the Washington Post for a Hunter Biden obsession. Why is he obsessed with Hunter Biden? Hunter Biden is just a poor drug addict, you know, recovering drug addict. He doesn't have anything to do with the government. Well, now the New York Times and Washington Post are reporting that Hunter Biden is essentially the de facto chief of staff for Joe Biden. I mean, are you kidding me? Hunter Biden shouldn't be allowed through the TSA line, much less in the White House, in conversations with cabinet secretaries and national security officials. So the fact that the media has defended the Biden family for saying, well, it was all on Hunter, Joe didn't know anything, this was all on Hunter, and Hunter doesn't have anything to do with the government. He's running the government now. It's not Joe Biden. It's Hunter Biden and some low-level staffers by all accounts.
So, and we just want to we want to thank you for educating us about AmeriCorps, about Joe Biden's doctor. We've actually heard these names well before they were very newsworthy over the course of the last week because of your investigations. It does seem to me, Mr. Chairman, that you along with maybe Robert Hur are like the most correct people in all of Washington, D.C. right now. But lo and behold, we're starting to hear a little bit about James Biden, about AmeriCorps, about defrauding and the $200,000 that ended up in Joe Biden's bank account. You came on this show a couple months ago and held up the check. And people are saying, wait a second, who's this crooked ass doctor who keeps giving Joe Biden clean bills of health while sneaking in Parkinson's experts into the White House? And oh yeah, he's in business with the Bidens. This seems unbelievably corrupt.
Well, every Biden associate had, with the exception of Tony Bobulinski, had a lot of what I would consider corruption baggage hanging around their necks. We didn't know much about the doctor. The reason we knew the doctor was involved with AmeriCorps is because his name appeared in a deposition and a transcribed interview, a deposition by Sarah Biden and a transcribed interview that my committee conducted with Jim Biden when he was asked, much like the media asked Hunter Biden, how did you get on an energy board, Burisma, when you don't have any energy background? We asked Jim Biden the same question. How did you get to be hooked up with a healthcare company when you have no healthcare background? He mentioned that he was getting advice from O'Connor, that O'Connor was involved in the deal with him, that O'Connor had written some letters for him and arranged some meetings for him and things like that. So, O'Connor would be considered a Biden associate in the influence peddling scheme. So, the fact that there are only two people in Washington, D.C. that are publicly saying Joe Biden is fit and competent enough to be president. That's Biden family members and Dr. O'Connor. Now, what do the Biden family members and Dr. O'Connor have in common? They were in on the Biden family influence peddling schemes where they were selling access to Joe Biden to our enemies around the world.
Corrupt doctors, corrupt brothers, Hunter Biden running the White House now, sitting in on national security briefings. It's bewildering and it's dizzying. And what does seem to be quite confounding, but hysterical to watch, is the meltdown on the other side of the aisle. I mean, one, you have Democrats voting for the SAVE Act, which passed yesterday, which I know you supported, and so congratulations on that victory. But then two, you're really starting to get a lot of Democrats questioning the efficacy of the Bidens, the morality of the Bidens. You've been long-standing, sir. Like, you won the war. You're winning the war now, finally, after a lot of battles. Like, that must feel great.
It feels good to finally have the mainstream media report what we've been saying for over a year now, that this president was compromised, that this president had surrounded himself with shady people, that this president's family is full of a bunch of bad hombres, and the fact that Joe Biden hasn't ever been truthful with the American people. Now the media is saying that. And they're just like you said, Chuck Todd, people like Chuck Todd, people like the New York Times are now reporting on our investigation. Where have they been for the last year? The overwhelming majority of Democrats in Washington right now, in Congress, right in the building where I am sitting, they want Joe Biden off the ticket. And I think you're going to have more and more say that over the next few days. And I really believe they're fixing to dump him from the ticket. But no one ever needs to lose sight of the fact that the mainstream media is just as responsible for this cover-up of Joe Biden. If they had done their job, if they had reported on our work a year ago, then we wouldn't be in this situation. The Democrats would have had an open primary, and who knows would have emerged from the primary. But when you talk about a threat to democracy, in my opinion, a threat to democracy is rigging a primary election to where good candidates like Robert F. Kennedy couldn't become eligible to run in the early states, changing the early states around to where South Carolina was ahead of New Hampshire and Iowa, not requiring any debates, and just essentially fixing it to where your candidate automatically wins the primary. And then the media, who's supposed to be part of the checks and balances in our system of government, never once demanding that Joe Biden have a press conference. Now, he's going to have a press conference tonight, and they're going to light him up. That media he's going to feel like I feel when I have a press conference, because they want him gone. But at the end of the day, they have blood on their hands too for allowing our country to operate for the past year with who knows who calling the shots.
You just mentioned there how brutal it's been for you during press conferences, and obviously you get chased everywhere you go down the halls of Congress. There must be a little bit of schadenfreude when you see clips like this. I don't normally do this, but it's too good. It's just a very short clip of the leader of the Democrats walking through the halls of Congress yesterday and getting just savage to the point where she actually snaps and starts screaming at the reporter whether she speaks English. I just want to play very quickly and get your reaction here.
Are you concerned whether or not he can win in November?
I think he can.
Do you believe he should run for re-election?
I'm not speaking English to you. I'm not going to be making any statements about any of that right now in the hallway.
Chairman Comer, I wouldn't advise you to look at any reporter and go, "Am I speaking English to you?" But clearly they're breaking. I mean, they're snapping. This is not typical esprit de corps for Pelosi. They're snapping right now.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed watching that clip with Pelosi. That was every day of my life for over a year with the media. And I did more, I said more than Pelosi said to him. I mean, I've been hateful to him. I've said really nasty things to him because they've been dishonest with the American people in their reporting. They keep reporting, oh, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. The committee failed to link Joe Biden to any of this. AmeriCorps Health, what we're talking about now, he took $200,000 from AmeriCorps Health and stuck in his back pocket. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, said that. We've proven that. He took $40,000 from China, put in his back pocket. That's $250,000. That's a lot of money to most hardworking Americans, I think. And for them to say we haven't linked Joe in any of this, when Joe lied and said he never met with any of these people that sent his family money, and we've proven he met with them all. He met with every one of them. So, now the media is saying, well, Joe Biden's not being honest with the American people. He's got his son in the White House, and he's a convicted felon. He's a convicted felon on a gun charge. They haven't even gotten to the tax evasion, the tax fraud, the money laundering, the violation of the Mann Act, all the drug charges. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of the things that Hunter Biden should have already been charged with. And I would go further. Jim Biden has an incredible amount of liability as well with the IRS and with the Securities and Exchange Commission and possibly with the federal government and Medicare fraud.
Do you think that it's because of do you think that Joe Biden's absolute dogged insistence that he must stay in power has something to do with how corrupt his family is, and that power is a shield that can protect them?
I do. I really do. And I've said that publicly. Look, again, why do his family, most people, if you had a parent, and my dad was in decline in his late 70s, and I wouldn't let my dad go on national TV, and I wouldn't let my dad be paraded around and be attacked by the press and people in the other party for not being competent and things like that. I would want to protect my family. Instead, the Bidens are forcing him out there. They're making him stay in that race. Jill Biden, Jim Biden, Hunter Biden, they want him in the race because they have liability. Okay. Do you think Kamala Harris is going to get their back? Let's say Kamala Harris wins the presidency. Let's say a miracle happens and she becomes president. You think she's going to get the Biden family back? They know that they've burned every bridge. Now the media, who has defended not only has the media defended the Bidens, Benny, they have attacked me every day. They've sent reporters to my little hometown in Kentucky, knocking on doors, trying to dig up stuff. They have harassed me. And in defense of Joe Biden, they have turned on Joe Biden. All Joe Biden has left are his shady family members and this White House doctor.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, that White House doctor. What a shining beacon of the Hippocratic Oath. Okay, so final question for you, Mr. Chairman. We've had a number of high-ranking Donald Trump officials and people who are very much planning for the next administration coming on this program and declaring that one of the first actions that needs to happen is a special counsel needs to be appointed to look into the lawfare on Donald Trump, and then a proper special counsel to be appointed to look into the crimes of the Biden family against the U.S. taxpayer and the United States government and against our foreign interests. Would you be cooperating with those special counsels? Would you encourage the president to take those actions?
Well, I would cooperate with whomever I have to cooperate with, but I'm going to be different than everyone else who's been on your show. That I have always been opposed to special counsels. Here we are today having conversations about trying to subpoena Jack Smith and trying to arraign Jack Smith. I didn't want Jack Smith appointed to begin with. I didn't want a special counsel. A lot of these people who are going on your show saying Jordan needs to subpoena Jack Smith or whatever, they were the ones calling for a special counsel. The reason you have special counsels is to shield them from Congress, right? Now, I would work with the special counsel, but look, there's no transparency with the special counsel. There has to be a better way. And I think that I would love to be chairman of the Oversight Committee in a Trump administration. I would love to and bring people like Devin Nunes in, people that have fought, and Jason Chaffetz, people that have, and Trey Gowdy, people that have fought the deep state, and bring them in and work with whomever Trump appoints to be Attorney General and FBI director and CIA director and the head of the IRS, and work with them to hold people accountable. Just changing the cabinet secretaries isn't going to fix it. Just firing, the Comeys of the world isn't going to fix the FBI. Firing Christopher Wray, that's not going to solve the problem. You got to fire some of the career employees too. And I would work with them on that. But I am not a fan of special counsel. I have said that for the last 3 years. I will continue to say that. Here we are. I mean, my phone rings off the hook from people. What can we got to do something about Jack Smith? We got to look. We shouldn't have ever had a Jack Smith. I wish the Oversight Committee and these select committees, like the committee Jim Jordan's in charge of, the Select Committee on Government Weaponization, I wish they had the same authority that a special counsel would have. And then if it's Congress, there's checks and balances. There's no checks and balances with the special counsel. So I don't encourage Donald Trump to appoint one, but if he does, I'll work with whomever I have to work with.
It's a very interesting take, and it's, again, we always learn something. Thank you. You always like sort of measure things out, and we learn something. We knew about Dr. O'Connor because of your incredible committee work, and so we thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, by the way, we just reported Democrats are laying on the ground crying at their DNC meeting. Over the disarray, part of that due to the committee work that you've done now, being weaponized against Biden. Either way, so they are curling up in fetal positions, according to Axios, and crying, and that's what happened during the Democrat meeting at the DNC. It's got to feel good. Final word.
Well, the world's changed a lot in the last 10 days. I've had a lot better week than I've had in a long time. It's just amazing seeing these people in the media, the Chuck Todds of the world, the New York Times, the Washington Post, who have attacked me, and all we've done, they've never said we've lied about anything. They just said that Comer's failed to produce any evidence of wrongdoing by the Biden or whatever. Now they're citing our work as a reason for Joe Biden to step down. I mean, who would have thought? It's a strange world.
God works in mysterious ways.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everybody get in there and follow Chairman Comer, grow our ranks, make sure that we give power to those who have really, truly proven to be fighters. There's so few of them. An actual brave man, Chairman Jamie Comer, who's going to, I think, have a much stronger majority in just a few months to do his work. Godspeed, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. How generous with his time. 30 minutes interview. This is awesome. That's great. How generous with his time. Mr. Chairman. It's going to be I'm so excited for the path forward. Now all of the indicators we covered yesterday, everything's like flipping, all these states that were lean Democrat, now it's toss up. These states that were toss up, lean Republican. We're really rolling. We're really rolling down the train towards Election Day, which is just 100 days and some change away. I think it's 115 days away to Election Day. Oh man, this is exciting. One of the people who who helped write the SAVE Act, and somebody who's been pushing for it. This is, again, an act that was victoriously passed last night, bipartisan, with Democrat support. Stephen Miller wanted to give him an opportunity to sort of sound off on how important this is as it heads to the Senate. And we're going to say, we're going to welcome every senator on the show to stand up and say why they wouldn't support something like this. It'll tell you everything as to why they want illegal criminal aliens to vote in our election. Here's Stephen Miller.
This is really one of the most astounding days in the history of the U.S. House of Representatives. They called a simple question before the House. Should illegal aliens vote in our elections? That was the bill. The Republican bill was, you must prove you are a citizen to vote, period. Virtually every House Democrat voted against the bill and said, we want illegal aliens to be able to vote just by checking a box. That's how it works. You get the form. It says, are you a citizen, yes or no? If you check yes, there is no validation, no verification, no identification or proof of citizenship that is required. This should be a pox on the entire Democrat Party. The Democrat Party has just declared they support illegal aliens voting, and every American, whether they're liberal, conservative, independent, wherever they fit in that matrix, they should kick the Democrats out of Washington for having the temerity to support illegal alien voting.
Get him, Stephen. Get him, Steve-O. I'm a big fan of Stephen Miller. We know Stephen Miller. He's a friend of the show. We can call him Steve-O. We can call him Steve-O. We will call him Steve-O. We're going to get Stephen Miller back on the show. Maybe we'll get some interviews at the RNC. Know that we are headed out. In fact, some of our team begins flying out today. It's awesome. We're going to be at the RNC. We're going to be right there in front of the convention. Live audiences. It's going to be amazing. Please tune in. We're going to do our programming is going to be a little bit later in the day because we want to be able to carry through the convention, right? So we're going to do later in the day. We're going to do sort of afternoon live streams and then carry through into the convention, through the convention's programming. And we have an unbelievable slate of guests booked. We have live events that we're going to be doing at Benny Brews there with a special guest to be announced. It's going to be awesome. And if you wish to join us, ladies and gentlemen, well, then please join the Benny Brigade. Tonight, we're going to be live with Joe Biden's nightmarish press conference. It's going to be a disaster. We're going to be live roasting with the rap horn ready to go with Joe Biden. Do we have the rap horn sound? Oh, yeah. We'll show you. We'll give Joe Biden the old rap horn meme treatment tonight. Can you do the rap horn? You want to know? Yeah. Let's give him the old rap horn. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time tonight. We're going to rap horn Joe Biden. It's going to be fantastic. Join us tonight. Apparently, it's going to be 6:30, which means it could be 1 a.m. Actually, Joe Biden's unconscious after 8 o'clock, apparently. So we'll see. Apparently, it's going to be 6:30 tonight. But we are ready. Wow. We are ready to go. 2 monster scoops from the New York Times. Goodness gracious. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, it is a new show, ladies and gentlemen. Please join the Benny Brigade. It's $5 a month. And we would really appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. It's what allows us to do the programming that we do and not be inside of like a little corporate media box. So if James Comer, Chairman Comer, wants to go for 30 minutes, then let's do it, Let her rip. Okay, breaking news right now, real quickly here. From the New York Times to monster scoops, the Biden campaign is testing Kamala Harris's viability versus Trump. We have the clip. We could show you a clip from us months ago, predicting this is exactly what's going to happen. Months ago, we were ahead of the curve. Boy, were we ahead of the curve. Biden campaign testing the viability of Kamala Harris versus Trump. Longtime aides and advisors think Biden needs to drop out. Oh, baby, this is going to be so salty. We are in for a salty hurricane, for a salt hurricane, for a saltnado. Okay, let's get these graphics made. We need saltnado to pour. Big tornado made of salt. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious what we're about to see. Oh, saltnado. Get it made. Let's go. We'll do it. We do it live on this program every single day. We do it with the understanding that there's going to be good news and bad news days, but we always have the good news for you. Our verse of the day from Timothy 3:12. Verse of the day. Indeed, all who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. You feel that one today? You feel that today? What I find very interesting about the New Testament and particularly the apostles is every one of them was persecuted. Some of them killed, some of them crucified and stoned. That these guys knew that persecution was something that came with a godly life because we live in a sunken and fallen world. And if you've followed this show over the past couple of years, there has been persecution, right? And it's everything from political prisoners to having states, people try to eliminate your voice or your capacity to vote for a guy. I mean, there's been persecution. It's so much you can hardly name it. You know, it's too much to actually name it all here, and we're not even going to try. We're just going to say that is a guarantee. You shouldn't be scared of that. You shouldn't be worried. It shouldn't make you down, right? This is all I'm trying to get at with a verse like this. It should not make you sad, right? You should count it all joy. It shouldn't get you down. It's guaranteed when you're living or doing your best, right? All I ever profess to be is a simple Christian. We're just a simple Christian. That's just it. That's what I believe, and Christ is King. Like, you're just a simple Christian in this sunken world. You're going to be persecuted if you just try and live a good life. If you do your best, you'll just be persecuted. And you should count that as a badge of honor. That is why on this program, we stand upright, okay? We have our energy. We are not doomers around here. We know that the victory is ours, no matter what they do to us. And we march forward to that victory, ladies and gentlemen. We say thank you for watching. Join us tonight for what's going to be an absolute rowdy nightmare for Joe Biden. It'll be delicious. Laugh with us. We'll have popcorn popped for the show. We'll have a giant tub of popcorn. It'll be great. I encourage you to do it as well. Bring your popcorn tonight. We'll have a fun time. It's your boy, Benny. March with me. On to victory. See ya.
Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade. Cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to the